I hope Fred will stay for those hours.
It's okay.
Yeah? Okay. It's an honor now to introduce you our colleagues, our friends from Vlaanderen, from Belgium, Fransol and Boudewijn. They are from DOEL. Are there people ever been at DOEL? Yeah. Well, there are interesting synchronies between DOEL and Ruigoord because of both harbors. Tell us a story. We'll start. Fun.
First, I'd like to start with an introductory movie from YouTube, which Congress's lobbyist Vera is going to, and then we'll go further with the PowerPoint.
It's official, right? Yeah. We take this into a moment of time. People are looking for the YouTube inside. Say something about that embassy. One of the ideas of the harmonicracy is to make a global grid of cities and decentralize via city-to-city connections. Let's say each city, little city, has a connection with, say, at least 3 other cities, or maximum 3 other cities, or maybe maximum 7. We can define the grade of that one. And then if you imagine that you connect a city in Japan with a city in Holland, with a city in Asia or in Australia, and all those cities have connections globally, which make connections with the other side of the world. You get like a bucket ball molecule. It's like a globe with no centralized power. And a saying is that power corrupts, so we should avoid that. And we can make a global topology of councils facilitated by ICT communities, and that will be the global guidance organism. I think people go inside further. Belgium.
That means every single second a container leaves the port of Antwerp day and night every single year. Do we have to send them over the ring of Antwerp if they come to this new dock? Since there's an enormous over-competition between the intercontinental container terminals of Europe. And what about the nuclear power plant? And the safety perimeters? Well, they were simply ignored. We would like to tell what all of this would cost, but we simply don't have a clue. Even the Flemish government doesn't know how much this megalomania will cost. Indeed, after 15 years of dreaming about a mega dock, no cost-benefit analysis was made public. What we can tell you is that hundreds of Tolenaars under pressure were decommissioned from their birth ground. And in the next 20 years, even 300 more villagers from the surroundings have to do as well. This plan, where even our ministers in Antwerp do not know if it's going to be executed, it wouldn't be the first time a blunder was being made on Antwerp's riverside, since this Kieldracht dock was planned, never done. The Verrebuurdock was never finished. The DOEL dock was made but never used. And is being filled with silt. Nou ja, the silt is coming from the Durgan dock. $320 million to dig it, and $85 million to fill it. Will we ever learn from our mistakes? The largest tidal dock in the world, where nobody knows how much it will cost for, or if it will function. For this, 1,500 hectares of football fields, some old polders, heritages, complete villages should move. An area as large as 3,000 football fields, as big as Antwerp itself. Because it's not only DOEL anymore. 6 other little townships, hundreds of houses and villages are supposed to be deported. With our money. The biggest financial gamble of the Port of Antwerp is about to be real. A gamble with complete households, precious nature, and our safety as a bet. We have to do everything to stop this madness. And you can help us. As such is this movie to be seen on YouTube about DOEL as a port. There are some frappant similarities with the history of Ruigoord, and I would like to illustrate this to you on the help of a PowerPoint we composed. This movie we have seen has illustrated us the economic components of this theme. You can help us. The video ends with from the organization DOEL 2020. Yes, you can. But how can you do if you don't have the money to send it to 2020? How can you do that if you're not a politician? How can you help DOEL? Well, first, for the English-speaking audience, DOEL is Dutch for purpose. And your being here means you understand this. That you are already helping a good case. Because this year's Futurological Congress is about more than talking about the creation of a place to smoke hash in freedom. That is tolerated by the authorities over the borders as well. It is about our world we co-create together. And their world, organizations that are vanishing. You hear me speak a little bit like it's black and white. But I'm getting a little grey here as well. And I can tell you for sure that this has been us and them since Atlantis fell down, at least since then. But now that epoch is over. We, all of us together, we are the understream that is getting upper and upper, since the 60s. On to the next summer of love that is happening every year since then. And our gathering is about the unity amongst Axis Mundi totem poles, as Aya has dubbed them. And these are so-called islands of light. We're standing on an island of light. And I tell you this, they know that we are stronger. We're stronger and we're going to be the winners by cosmic law. Because we're not organized like pyramids. No, we're organized like a rainbow. That is the way we are going to victory. What do we have to do in the future? Well, we have to do some sort of reversed imperialism. To conquer back the earth that was ours once. And DOEL is a place where myself and Boudewijn are gonna we're gonna invite you to make input to it as well. I hope that we can start with a PowerPoint right now. Thank you very much. Because this Axis Mundi, as Ruigoord is the center of the world, and Christiania is the center of the world. And you're going to hear more about more centers of the world in the speed up of this Congress. Here the instance of DOEL. Because DOEL has a history as well, where Ruigoord as a village is celebrating its 40th birthday this day as a cultural free port. As a village, it has existed for over 140 years, and before that it was an island. Well, DOEL was an island as well, or actually a peninsula. Let's have a look at the first dia. Here you see the peninsula as it was before, with right there on the corner the wapen of DOEL, the so-called sign of DOEL. As you see, it has a quite peculiar parallel with the weapon of Ruigoord. Let's take a look at the next dia. Because DOEL is going to be something for the port of Antwerp, like Ruigoord is, still is for Amsterdam. I think we'll kind of visualize it as some sort of the Christiania as well. As you see, the history of this village is about 400 years as a normal peasant village. What has happened there? Well, it was had to move for a port like Ruigoord once had to as well. But the delay of this industrial expansion lasted until the end of the 90s, when it was it bled empty slowly. So that's what you say about it. And how does that look? Well, we have instances of that's a bit. Here you see. This is what is going to happen there. Now they're threatened, just like Ruigoord has been threatened, for a port as well. A port that has to be dug literally through the village, next to, how do you say it? Just right through an old church, a house where the painter Rubens has lived, a windmill that has been standing there also since the 17th century, and quite Belgian painting like houses that are there. Some of them are demolished. Let's have a look at the next one. This is how you have the overview. An overview from the dike, from the river Schelde, to the power plant that is standing there. But I cannot say I was radiated by it after swimming in the Schelde. It's totally safe. Shows us, how is the point of view? What can you see and what can you feel if you look at such a place? Do you look at the industrial potential of this landscape, or do you see the village? And what I started my speech with about the islands of light. All of these islands, they are like fountains of energy. I'm sure that most of you do feel this as well. In coming to such places like this, even the little ones feel it. And what Aya has initiated there is that we, with the experience that is in Ruigoord in founding such a place as this, is to open up a consulate. This was in 2009. A very good start of interweaving with one another as free ports amongst us. This free port is 200 kilometers exactly by route planning from Ruigoord, so there might be even a sort of divine logic in where these patterns of light appear. And the next one shows us a little more recent history from DOEL, where amongst all the an annual fest that is it's going to be on the 4th of August. It's a sort of Catholic ritual. They are going to bless the boats from the port of DOEL with a toilet brew. That's what Catholics do. They bless the boats. And amongst this, there is some sort of flea market amongst the entire village. And you have to imagine that this village is not so. It's not been a free port since 40 years. It's not a place where hippies have worked for 40 years to make it like a paradise. DOEL is more raw, and there still has to be done a lot of work, as you can see in the next dia. Artists have already reclaimed the houses as a stage for their art. And in this way, DOEL is already starting to be like a worldwide graffiti capital. Another dia might show what we're going to do about it. What are we going to do about it to make this half-demolished town with empty houses, but also a lot of free room, free space where there is to be created? And maybe Boudewijn can tell us a little more about how we are going to organize such an eco-peace village.
Yes, we follow the eco-village ideology. We follow.
Take your mouth in.
We follow the ideas of the Gen, also mentioned by Christiania. So it's about four key points. Ecology is important. I think everybody understands it. Community building, changing of the world begins with inner changing of ourselves. So community building is the center of all. The third is the economy. It's written on economics.
Excuse me, Boudewijn, I've altered this word since I do believe that it's more about an economy we have to introduce in places like us. It's not about me anymore. It's about
economy. So the characteristics of the economy are clear, I think: sustainable, local, social, local currency, we have our own currency, and solidarity with third world and all that. Spirituality will be very important, and it will be a place for education and for all the visitors, and where people can see how we can make the transition to the world we all want.
Now, we're going to fast forward to another image. And also, I chose a picture to show you how much work there is to be done in a place like DOEL. How are we going to fix this up until the year 2020, where we are hoping to have at least 1,000 people living there? A lot of work has to be done. Not all the houses are in such worse state, and we're not going to start with this one. But maybe the next one illustrates us a little bit more about our planning. And the next one shows us the school of DOEL, a place where the organization DOEL 2020 is gathering on weekly Sundays, but it has to be more bruisend, more vibrating there. And the next dia is showing us a little more about the opportunities that are there. And I cannot say that it's like, come on, move in and we're gonna live there. I tried with my girlfriend last year, and we were simply kicked out when they picked us up. But now the political will is starting to get there to let people move there. And the next one shows us 2010, when there was a Fiasco Fest, initiated from Ruigoord here as well by Aisha and Aukje. And we have envisioned that this year there is another opportunity. So I would like to invite you all to come to DOEL after the DOEL, since in the week after that we can kickstart a transition pair of weeks where there is plenty of room to camp or to come there by van. It's going to be a co-creative festival with enough open space to manifest your own ideas over there and to get to know each other as people who are there for founding the new DOEL. What is the next year showing us? That is what it's going to be. There is enough free room for building and rebuilding and creating things the paradise along the Schelde, just like you've already heard from two other paradises, Ruigoord and Christiania, and we'll hear a lot more about paradises that are already there and the ones to come. For more info, just ask Boudewijn or me. We hope that during the DOEL we can make up the move towards for a lot of people to come to DOEL and co-create it together. Thank you very much.
Stay for a moment. I hope there are questions, interesting presentations. Come on, one of our honored members of parliament.
Thank you. I was wondering, with all the similarities you mentioned between Ruigoord and DOEL, between all the similarities you mentioned between Ruigoord and DOEL, there's also a big difference. Namely that Ruigoord has a struggle of not only 40 years, but over the past 10, 15 years about legalizing the place and institutionalizing. So I'd like to hear from you, what are you doing in this respect in DOEL? How are you involving politics in Belgium and Antwerpen? How do you find this giant plans for Ruigoord?
That's a very interesting question. Thank you. I think that one of the answers to that is the way Boudewijn and I met, because I'm obviously not from Antwerp, I'm from Amsterdam. But Boudewijn is an original Antwerpenaar, and he knows more about the political and the way the Belgians handle together with one another. What my vision is that it's in Belgium there's a more interweaving thing with the church and politics. It's not like with us that church and state are totally separated, they're more interweaving. So that's the thing you can use. Because the Catholics over there, they definitely want to come in a better light over there, and I think that's one thing you use. But that's one of my opinions. And what is Boudewijn's?
Yes, it's obvious we are in another stage as Ruigoord. So Ruigoord is for us a good example. For the moment, it's still the government who wants to destroy it. But the village, it's not a village in Antwerp. The village has decided last few weeks to restore the houses for living. So there is on local place they want to keep a DOEL, but on governmental level they still follow the economics route. But we think now it's a very important point to add the peace idea to it, to go for a win-win situation. Now it's still fighting. They take decisions for the government, and the Supreme Court is counseling it. It's the same like here. But it's not yet a view for the future, and we are building a view for the future. What will add something to the harbor. Ruigoord has value to the harbor too, and we want to make that through. Living there and making it, it's still now a very touristical issue there. A lot of people come there. There is a pond around the river. 70,000 people take it each year. So it's a very known.
May I ask President Dalai, what's the position of the new, well, now for more than half a year, Major of Antwerpen, Bart de Lever, the leader of the nationalistic movement?
A member of his party is mayor of the village of DOEL, so it's the same party.
And they accept him?
They decided that DOEL should stay, and that people have to come back there. But yeah, Bart de Lever is not a member of he's member of the governmental also, but there are very important elections next year, so it's our chance.
To let the politicians work for us instead of just voting for them. We want them to, that's very tactically, to make them propose the thing we just presented. So they think, hey, it's our idea, let's go.
That's the way you have to do it.
Yes.
Is there somebody who can open the main door? Then we have extra wind in the church and a little cooler. Another question?
Practical question. Is there a website of your community?
Yeah, is there a website?
No, we don't have a website yet for this festival, but the most info you can find about DOEL is on doel2020.org or on kunstdoel.net. But the point, what we signaled in this village is that the separate parties that are living and having interest in this village, they do not combine very well. They're not connected with each other. And our role in there as ambassadors for the Access Money, so to say, is to make sure that the first dorpsvergadering, village meeting, is going to get there.
Town hall, yeah. When will DOEL open its embassy at Ruigoord?
There's already one next door from 2009.
Okay.
We were the first.
Okay, it was the first. Yeah. And does it help? Does it work, the exchange, the permanent exchange?
I think that
Here now.
the fact that I'm standing here right now proves that it works in a way. On the other hand, we have not invented teleportation yet.
But it will come. It will come. I'm sure.
200 kilometers is not so much to drive.
Amsterdam will come back to its roots, Antwerp.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.